Hello everyone and welcome back to Serious Sunday. I'm your host Luke and this is the show where I talk about video games and things. And this week I had the pleasure of returning to an old community that I used to be a part of on the regular. It's been a long time since I have shown my face around there, but it was good to see some familiar old faces and some new ones as well. I'm talking about the Adventure Game Studio community. I've mentioned them many times in the past, but I got my start in video games working on projects in Adventure Game Studio, which is a free engine for making point-and-click adventure games. I happened across their Discord chat very recently and have been participating there quite a bit, but I was pleasantly surprised to find that I had rejoined the community, ostensibly, just in time to catch this year's 2016 AGS Awards. If you're not already a member of the AGS community, you probably won't already be familiar with this and it won't really have meant very much to you, but the AGS Awards are just a nice way for members of the community to recognize other outstanding projects and people within the community. And for people like me who have been out of the loop for quite a while, a great way to see what other people have been doing over the last little while. I managed to get my hands on the AGS Awards 2016 client, which is basically just an online single room where a bunch of members of the community could log in and stand around together while the awards ceremony was happening. Sort of a mini MMO type situation where the actual awards ceremony is hosted in a digital fashion. I even presented on stage, quote unquote, about 3 years ago, so it was nice to see that the community is still doing this. And it's awesome to know that the great little video game development community that got me started is still just as accepting and fun-loving as it used to be, even though it appears that it's mostly populated with old boys like myself. This year, as with most years, most of the projects that were nominated for awards were fairly standout titles that you actually, if you play Steam games, may already be familiar with. High-profile titles like Clifftop Games' Cathy Rain and Wadjet Eye's Shardlight. I was personally surprised to find out that Until I Have You, the pixel platformer action game, was also created in AGS and won a few awards this year, and was also programmed by a friend of mine, James Spanos. Some other fantastic projects like Among Thorns and StairQuest, The Man from Fugue State by good old Haggis, and an amazing looking demo game called The Journey of Aesir, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing now that I know that it exists. Nurblex, if that's how you pronounce it, Order of the Thorn, and the apparently very popular Toffee Trouble in Creamville, which I had never heard of, but apparently was a MAGS entry that I'm going to have to get my hands on and play, were some of the outstanding titles that were listed during this year's celebration and received awards from the community. I'm going to post a link up on today's video to the old nominations page, which will give you access to links to all of the games that people had nominated for awards this year. You might find it unfortunately kind of repetitive, but that's one of those small issues when you have a very tight and not overly populated group of people who comprise your entire community. There aren't a lot of people to make nominations, and when the nominations are made, the votes end up going to a few outstanding projects. And when you have juggernauts like Wadjet Eye and Clifftop Games making projects, it must be hard to get a lot of recognition otherwise. But I suppose that's what happens when a video game development community matures. The members of the community that create the high profile and highest production value projects get the most recognition, and rightly so. If you hadn't had the opportunity to play Cathy Rain or Shardlight, Until I Have You or Among Thorns, or any of the other games that were nominated and given awards this year, if you enjoy point-and-click adventure games, even though some of them are very short, I absolutely recommend that you pick them up and give them a try. A number of them are free or at least extremely cheap, and if you catch this video in time, I think a good number of them are also on sale on GOG.com right now, so go find them, give them a try. You won't regret it. Otherwise, I wanted to extend my congratulations to all of the members of the community that managed to get their games into the awards this year, and honestly really anybody else that released a game this year off of the AGS platform. Shipping your game, even for the amateurist of amateurs and the most professional of professionals, is a great landmark in one's career, and each and every member of the community that has released something this year should be applauded. Really makes me want to get back into making point-and-click adventure games. I might pick it back up as a hobby. Maybe I can dragoon Matt into doing some background art for me. Some characters, some animations. We'll see what we can do. No promises, of course. Anyway, thank you for joining me this week. It was kind of a niche topic, but it was one that I have some personal investment in, so I thought that I would talk about it this time around. If you like point-and-click adventures and weren't aware of the AGS engine, please check out adventuregamestudio.co.uk. In my many years of experience developing video games, it's been one of the most intuitive and easy to use, despite the fact that it is freeware and developed entirely by a small community. It's very specialized, it doesn't do 3D, but if you like point and click and you want to do one of those, it's a great engine for it. And it's got an amazing community. Join us, you might even catch me on the Discord from now on. I'll be around. Otherwise, of course, you can always catch me here on YouTube. Thanks as always for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, or whenever it is that you happen to be watching this video. But regardless, have a good one, and take care.